What's good? This is the You Killin Me Smalls podcast where we talk about NBA, NFL, and sports culture. Because some of these takes, calls, decisions, you killing me. Let's get into it. As y'all can see, I lost all my aura, man. Look at my head. Oh, y'all see the roots, man. Y'all see the curls a little bit. Oh, I know black. Nah, I'm chill. That's besides the point, y'all. Where have I been? I've been working. I've been getting myself situated. And honestly, I just needed a little time. And I also got into a dispute with TikTok where basically TikTok was playing with me, man. TikTok was really playing with me. They was trying to take my account away for posting predictions. Y'all, I was posting a prediction video for the NFC Championship and the AFC Championship. And while I was trying to post those videos, mind you, I was pretty much right. Like, I predicted the Seahawks were going to win the Super Bowl. I had predicted the Seahawks Patriots. And I only probably missed on two games, maybe. I think I predicted the Bears to win and I predicted the Eagles to win. Those are the two games that I picked incorrectly. But yeah, y'all. I did pretty well with my predictions. I just wasn't able to get some of the videos out. They kept blocking it. I started getting into disputes. They started shadow banning me. Y'all couldn't see my stories. Y'all couldn't see my posts. So honestly, this is my last resort, y'all. This is my last resort. Make a podcast. I'm making a podcast. I'm going to record, post on YouTube once a week, and y'all should get daily clips because we can kind of just go over everything when it comes to basketball, football, all those type of good things. And, you know, I'm glad to be back, y'all. I know it's like, damn, look at this nigga. He don't got no dreads, no nothing. He got a big-ass forehead. Like, yeah, I know, bro. I know, bro. It's straight though. It's straight, bro. You know, I do look like an off-brand Jarvis Landry, bro. I know. That's cool. Don't matter. We back at it, man. We back at it. These are going to be live. I'm going to have a set schedule for shows and things like that, and this is going to be a live production for the first few weeks while I'm getting that set up. It's just going to be recorded podcasts. So I want to go over a few different things, a few different topics. I'm just going to react. I'm just going to go react off of what I see. I'm probably just going to go on Twitter, react to a few different things, give my takes on Twitter, and I will also give a few ideas that I have for NBA All-Star break going into this All-Star break just to spicing things up. I know it's hard because these guys are making millions of dollars. It's going to be hard to really convince them to go hard when their main objective is to win a championship, y'all. I get it. You guys want to see an amazing product during All-Star weekend, but the real talk is we're not going to be able to get them to go super, super, super hard playing like it's the NBA championship for All-Star weekend. We're just really not. I just don't see it happening. You got guys like Wemby and Ant that want to push the pace, that want to make it more competitive, and I get that. I understand that. Bringing back the old NBA. But if one of the people get it, all it takes is one. It take one person gets hurt in that game, and it's like, you know, what's the point? That's gonna kill everything, you know. So I think they've been operating under the assumption that they don't want to even get to that point. But as of right now, everybody just keeps talking about different ways to change the All-Star game and make it more competitive and stuff like that. And I have a few ideas of my own, which I'll share with you guys. But as of right now, we're going to hop straight onto Twitter and just debate some takes, y'all. We're going to debate some takes. I'm going to pull up some stats. We're going to get real gritty here. Basketball, football, We're going to go down my timeline and see what takes I think are horrendous, what takes I agree with. Just give y'all the real, man. We not here for clicks. I'm giving y'all exactly what I think personally from my logic and from my viewpoint. I'm giving strong consideration to being on that debate stage for 2027 and running for a Democratic nomination. Chat. I know we're not. We're so unserious, y'all. We are so unserious. If this, open your eyes. Open your eyes. Wake up. If this doesn't say enough, we got Stephen A. Smith running for president. Come on, bro. Come on. He might do better than Donald, though. I ain't gonna lie, he might do better than Donald. We don't know. But this just tells you that's all I gotta say, man. That's all I gotta say. I know we're not serious, bro. Puppet. That's all I'm gonna say. Puppet. Somebody put up 148,000. This gotta be cat, bro. He put up 148,000 to get 8. Whoa. He put up 148,000 to get a mil? That's a mil. We rounded up by like 200K. I don't care. That's a mil. Nah. It's rigged. It's rigged, bro. This might be the WWE at this point, bro. They saw Shay and J Dub out. They saw, okay, you don't make Shay money. You don't make J Dub money. The odds are, but the fact that he could confidently put up a 148, it got to be a multi-millionaire though. I ain't gonna lie, got to be, or that's fake, As logged. Romeo Dobbs. Yeah, I don't want Romeo Dobbs. I'm not gonna lie. I'm sorry. I just don't want Romeo Dobbs. I rather re-sign Dotson, see what he could do. Wow, this graphic is crazy. So this is the NFC team of the 2020s. Eagles are 63, 37 and 1, 3 divisional titles. Super Bowl record is 1-1. Rams are 59 and 42, 2 divisional titles, Super Bowl record of 1-0. Seattle Seahawks record of 61 and 40, divisional titles 1, Super Bowl record 1-0. 49ers record of 65 and 36, 2 divisional titles, Super Bowl record of 0-1. Okay, the Eagles have been to 2 Super Bowls in the 2020s. Rams 1. Seattle 1, Niners 1. This is 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we've only been able to do 5 years. Yeah, so really that means the Eagles have been the best team from the NFC for the 2020s. They have the least amount of losses, except for the Niners, but they have a Super Bowl win and 3 divisional titles. This is peak Eagles time, y'all. man, I remember as an Eagles fan, just watching poverty year after poverty year. And enjoy it while it lasts, Eagles fans. We probably only have a few more years of this until we, have to go through a pretty good retooling. But honestly, these teams have been pretty dominant since the 2010s. Seattle, Niners, Rams, Eagles just have pretty stout organizations. We have pretty good organizations that, continue to put our teams in place to win the big game. So I think we'll be around for the long run, but just enjoy it while it lasts, guys, because it's incredibly hard to win a Super Bowl in this league, and we've been blessed to have pretty much the best record out of any team in the NFC in the 2020s, and probably one of the better teams from the 2000s in general since I was born. But yeah. Okay, looking at this graphic, y'all, it just shows that Jalen Hurts is in the conversation of a lot of greats with his big-time game performances. But Jalen Hurts right now, being honest, and as an Eagles fan, is probably split in the middle. He's split in the middle of being a legend, a sure Hall of Famer, or somebody like Eli Manning, who's like a fringe Hall of Famer, somebody like Sam Darnold is a little bit underneath him still. But I think Jalen Hurts is that good middle ground. I think he's better than Eli, better than Sam Darnold, but he's not quite the level of Tom and all the best greats or even the most elite quarterbacks of the game today. Until he shows us that he would honestly have to win another Super Bowl for me. I don't care if he has mediocre numbers throughout the season. If he continues to be like a fringe top 10 quarterback throughout the season, that's fine. As long as he turns into the Jalen Hurts that we know in the Super Bowl, throughout the playoffs, throughout his career, maybe gets another All-Pro, then he'll be a Hall of Famer for sure. He'll be a Hall of Famer for sure. But he's kind of in that middle ground. We have some people that just absolutely hate Jalen Hurts and think he's extremely overrated, and then underrate him completely. And then we have another side that just completely does overrate Jalen Hurts. And I can say that as an Eagles fan. He's an amazing quarterback. He's great. He's not top 5. He's not a top 5 quarterback as of right now. He's not. Maybe at the end of the year last year, he had a case of being top 5. As of right now, he isn't. He definitely is top 10, but he's not top 5. And he's not necessarily like the extremely most talented, but I think his talents lie that he's a great decision maker. He has a good enough arm to make damn near all the throws on the field. And he doesn't turn the ball over, which, it's a great strength, especially in the playoffs. It helps your team win games. Again, guys, Tom Brady wasn't the most elite thrower of the ball, like athletic wise, like just pure talent. He was very smart. So, some guys can just be really high IQ quarterbacks, and Jalen Hurts has the potential to grow into that, archetype of quarterback. But we'll see what happens with his career. I think, he has a long way to go to get in conversations with Tom, but, he definitely has that same archetype as far as not necessarily the most physically gifted, good decision maker, plays big and well in big games. But we'll see where it goes. Eagles are among the favorites to land Raiders star Max Crosby. Now, if we have Max Crosby and Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis and Nolan Smith on that D-line, man, ooh, watch out. Watch out, man. I'm telling y'all, watch out. It's going to look real scary for other offenses next year. But honestly, our offense itself is going to, have to do some retooling for us to be able to compete. Whether that's trading AJ Brown, I honestly wouldn't want to trade AJ Brown, but we don't know what's gonna happen. We don't know if AJ really wants to stay here or not. But I would want to keep our offense, honestly. Just retool our offensive line, get some new guys on defense throughout the draft, and go have another have at it. These guys are still young. They're still young enough to make another push at it. So I would still keep this pretty much the same core, and just have another go at it. If we can get Max Crosby, we'd probably have to give up some guys to get him with some picks. So it might not be Jordan Davis. Jordan Davis might as well be in that deal. But then we got to draft somebody, to be his replacement. I honestly would like to keep at least some of the Georgia guys together. But hey, it's a business. You know what? Things happen. So, but Max Crosby would be an absolute beast next to Jalen Carter for sure. Wow, Chris Paul retired, man. This is it. After over 21 years, I'm stepping away from basketball. As I write this, it's hard to really know what to feel. But for once, most people will be surprised. I don't have the answer. LOL. But mostly, I'm filled with so much joy and gratitude. While this chapter of being an NBA player is done, the game of basketball will forever be engraved in the DNA of my life. I've been in the NBA for more than half my life, spanning 3 decades. It's crazy even saying that playing basketball for a living has been an unbelievable blessing that also came with a lot of, I can't read the rest of that. Spider Mitchell said point guard. Man, Chris Paul, y'all. Chris Paul. Now that Chris Paul is retired, man, we all got to give him his flowers, man. Point guard, one of the best to ever do it. Y'all, casuals, he is better than Kyrie, and he is better than Westbrook. I don't want to hear what nobody got to say. He's better than Kyrie and Westbrook. Check me on that. Check me on that right now. Chris Paul is better than Kyrie and better than Westbrook. Do y'all research on Hornets Chris Paul. Do y'all research on Clippers Chris Paul. He's a leader. He's a winner. He's been further than both of those guys as a number one option. So honestly, yeah, he's been further than both of those guys as a number one option as the team leader. And I think context matters in their careers. If you look at straight numbers, you might say Westbrook. If you look at flash and stuff like that, you might say Kyrie. But Chris Paul, one of the greatest passers ever, was an elite defender at 6 feet. An elite defender at 6 feet, mind you. In the prime of his career. And will still give you 18 to 20 a night. And he was a system at a certain point in time. He was the pick and roll guy. He honestly drew the best out of his players, y'all. We haven't seen DeAndre Jordan play as good as he's ever did next to Chris Paul. We've never seen Book play as good as he did next to Chris Paul. Harden played some of his best basketball next to Chris Paul, y'all. And that's just because he made players better throughout his career. He never ended up winning a ring. And honestly, I think he would have won a ring if he didn't hurt himself in that one series against GSW. It's very unfortunate, but man, he had such a great career. Man, that's like my childhood, man. Chris Paul really retired. Wow. Chris Paul, man, you had an amazing career, bro. Amazing career. Shout out to you, man. Chris Paul, man. Chris Paul. Shout out to Chris Paul. Shout out to Chris Paul, man. Somebody posted this. Ant should be ashamed, man. Luka would have multiple rings by now with this. And this is the graphic. I'm going to pull it up a little bit bigger. Luka, Devo, Jaden, Julius, Rudy Gobert. No. This team is cool, but no. There's no real number 2 on this team. Luka went to the finals with Kyrie Irving. Can we put some respect on Kyrie Irving's name, man? Kyrie Irving was getting buckets. I don't think y'all remember, but there was a series that Luka was struggling in. Luka struggled in the playoffs in certain series. They just kind of hit it. He had bad shooting percentages. In some of these series. Like, he just wasn't looking his best. And Kyrie was cooking. Yeah, granted, he was a little bit hurt, but Kyrie was cooking. In that series against Minnesota, straight up, head-to-head to go to the finals, Kyrie was absolutely torching it, man. A lot of that was thanks to Kyrie. There's no Kyrie on this team. Julius Randle is not going to get you any Kyrie buckets. He's just not. Let's just clear the air right now. He's not getting you no Kyrie buckets. Jaden McDaniels, amazing player, amazing defender, 3-and-D guy. Can honestly do a little bit more 3-and-D. He's pretty good. But he's not Kyrie. I think Jaden McDaniels definitely better than PJ Washington. Some of the role players they had. DiVincenzo, solid. Gobert would be nice with Luka. He would be nice with Luka in the pick and roll. Yet Gobert, to me, for somebody who won so many defensive players of the year, he's such a liability on defense. And it sucks because we're gonna have somebody who's won 4 defensive player of the years, be touted as one of the best defenders ever, but he got picked on in a lot of playoff series. I watched these games. I watched these playoff series where they would search for Rudy Gobert on a switch and go kill him. So, we can look at advanced stats and give him all these DPOYs and stuff like that. But Rudy, to me, like, I'm not trying to just hop on the Rudy hate train, y'all. I'm really not. But Rudy would be nice in the pick and roll, but still not a great defensive piece as much as people say. He's an anchor down low. Yes, sometimes. But sometimes he can get gassed, y'all. He gets gassed and he doesn't have energy, and then he just gets picked on and they got to take him out. Cat, like, if y'all don't remember that series, Minnesota versus the Nuggets, Cat was playing better defense than Jokic. I'm sorry. Cat was playing better defense on Jokic than Gobert. Like, Cat, I'm not saying hey, look, no disrespect to Cat, bro. Shout out to Cat. Cat's a bucket. And, he was playing hard defense in that series, but man, you the DPOY, you the 4-time defensive player of the year. How is Cat outplaying you on defense? How is he getting the late minutes to guard Jokic and not you? Every single time Jokic sees you, he sees barbecue chicken. You know what Shaq said. He sees a free bucket every time. And for any player to look at you and be like, free bucket, how could you be a 4-time defensive player of the year? That's another conversation, though. But, even with this team, they lose to the Thunder. They lose to the Spurs. I'm sorry. They would not have multiple rings. I disagree adamantly with this statement. I just can't agree with it. Yo, is this real? Magic Johnson reportedly stopped Kareem from joining the Lakers staff and mentoring Ivica Zubac. Told me he wanted to mentor me and work for the Lakers. He had a meeting with Magic, but never got the job. Whoa. Come on, Magic. Like, come on, bro. Magic. Look how skinny Zubac looking is, man. All right. Yeah, that is there something behind the scenes about Magic and Kareem? Maybe they gotta look more into that. That's a little weird why you wouldn't want Kareem Abdul-Jabbar mentoring Zubac, your young center, obviously panned out still good. He progressed his career with the Clippers, and James Harden progressed his career even more by helping him out, getting him from 10 to 11 points a game to 18 points per game, looking like, a pretty stout big man in his league, top 10, I would probably say. It's just weird. It's weird by Magic. Somebody needs to get Magic on an interview and ask him why that did not happen. That is extremely weird. The Cavs into the break on a heater, winning 9 out of 10. They are now the favorite to make the finals in the East. Do I think the Cavaliers are the favorite to make the finals in the East? This is such a tough question because, the obvious, easy answer is like, if you just look at their roster, it's like, yes, you got point guard James Harden. He's obviously not Houston Harden anymore. But he's going to unlock Mobley. He's going to unlock Jared Allen. He's going to get your shooters open. And Donovan Mitchell's going to have a lot less pressure on him on the perimeter because guys are going to be looking at double James, and because he's going to be creating and stuff like that. So obviously he's going to get looks. This is tough. I'm still going to say the New York Knicks. I still think the Knicks are the favorites, but the Cavs are a close second. Pistons are a close third. I just haven't seen the Pistons in the playoffs yet. They look good last year. They look good, but in the playoffs, when it comes down to you need that second guy to get you a bucket, who's going to get you a bucket on that team? James Harden at least is going to give you one or two great playoff games. He'll do that. He obviously, is going to have a few stinkers. He has a few stinkers in almost every series, especially at this age. He's going to give you a few stinkers. I'm not going to say prime James Harden was giving you stinkers because that's a different narrative. I honestly think that was blown over proportion. But now he's going to give you a few stinkers. Probably in game sevens and, things of that nature. But you got Mobley and Jared Allen, which even in his stinkers, he averages high assists. So those guys are still going to get going. Those guys have opportunities to be the second guys to a Donovan Mitchell, who may not have to play his best every game because, again, Harden's going to get you a game or two probably early on in the series. Pistons, I love Cade. I love the Pistons. They have a really great team. But I want to see who's going to step up as a second scorer. Not saying that they can't make it out the East because they definitely can. But I want to see who's going to be that second scorer in the playoffs come time. But I'd say the Cavs are second. Knicks are first because they've been there. They've been together for a pretty decent amount of time. I like their pickups of Jeremy Sochan and Grand Theft Auto 5. Jose Alvarado coming back to the city. I like those pickups. It brings some grit. It helps Brunson get off the court a little bit more. And I think that team's been together and they can find a way. I think they should still be the favorites just because they're familiar with each other. They have the roster to go head to head with the Cavs. Let's see. And I see Tatum's back, so I would put the Celtics probably in there at 4. I'd probably put the Celtics in there at 4. Tatum's gonna be back soon, and depending on how good he looks, well, how good JB is, and how well they can mesh, they could be right back to that old Celtics team we saw make a run. So the East might get interesting in these last few months. Yeah, this might be the real reason why James Harden got shipped. The NBA is now investigating the Clippers for alleged salary cap circumvention involving Kawhi Leonard's $28 million endorsement deal. We kind of heard a little bit about this earlier on before the season started. Potential punishments include $7.5 million fine, loss of draft picks, or the NBA voiding Kawhi's contract entirely. First thoughts on this is wow. Obviously, this is not news. Yeah, they said when that's funny. Yeah, the Clippers, man. The Clippers might be in NBA purgatory, man. And depending on how this comes out, maybe they were trying to help out James Harden and Zubac, two people that were loyal to the franchise for a certain period of time, and gave majority of what they had later on in their careers. Well, speaking for Harden, at least Zubac still has some career to go. They probably just wanted to get them out of this type of situation. If they really are punished, it's looking like Kawhi might be on a new team next year, and the Clippers just might go into full rebuild mode. You got to feel bad for Darius Garland and Benedict Mathurin. Their team and their front office may be, handicapped moving forward, but we'll see. We'll see what comes of this investigation.
Morant in a thicket of defenders. No! Loose! Diving! Collision! Harden!
Damn. Headband Harden, man. Headband Harden was crazy. I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, this is a pretty good coaching staff. Robert Salah and Brian Daboll in general is a pretty good coaching staff. And honestly, this is Cam Ward, buddy. They get you some weapons. They get you a shirt up offensive line. We need to see something shake. I want to see at least 8 wins this season. At least. There got to be some progress. I need to see y'all on the brink of making the playoffs at least with this pretty good coaching staff. And, depending on how the front office makes moves, it could be an even better offseason upgrade and put Cam Ward in position to make the playoffs, honestly. We'll see. We'll see. We will see. Okay, All-Star games don't hit like this anymore. Man. Yeah. Whew. Harden, Kyrie, KD, Bron, Kawhi, AD, Cat, Dwayne Wade. Man, look at that! Look at that trio in the front, man. They was all on the same team. Yeah, I can't get over that, man. I still can't get. They was on the same team, and injuries and COVID ruined it, man. That was a great team, man. It's tough. But yeah. Ooh, man. All right. I'm not trying to make this too long, but let's talk about my ideas for the NBA All-Star Game. Since it's not competitive anymore, I like the idea of the USA versus the world and trying to make it competitive and all this different type of stuff. That's cool. I've heard a few people say we should do 1v1s. 1v1s would be nice. Honestly, if they brought the next chapter OTC, shout out to Off the Chain Hoops. If they brought in, you know, some type of format like guys that run 1v1s, they did some of the guards versus some of the guards, some of the bigs versus some of the bigs. And honestly, maybe obviously we all want to see the biggest stars. We want to see the biggest stars go at it 1v1. You know, but you know, they need a real incentive to go out here and win a 1v1. You got to think these guys are millionaires. They're millionaires. They don't want to ruin their brand or their perception from the general public by losing to another guy 1v1, because you know what everybody in sports media is going to say. Let's just be clear and honest. Everybody in sports media is going to be like, oh, this player is better than that player because he beat him one-on-one. So that's one of the biggest issues with that 1v1 type thing. You know, I don't know if all the guys are going to get on it. Obviously, some things are pride things. So, you know, you want to, you know, step in and prove you the best. Like maybe a guy like Ant's like, yeah, like sign me up for that. It's probably going to be a lot of young guys. I don't think we're going to be able to see a KD versus Bron or Harden versus Kyrie, or like, you know, I don't think we'll be able to see those type of things at this point in stage. But, you know, moving forward with some of these young guys, you know, young stars, I think adding that to maybe like young stars could be a start. That could be a start. And then, you know, it could get normalized a little bit more. Maybe a 3v3. Maybe changing it to like a 3v3 format where we just pair up different guys. We have more captains or something like that. Maybe it'll be more competitive then. Cause then it's kind of like you're more spread out. It's kind of like 1v1. Like have it like a half court format. And these guys are gonna start going a little bit more one-on-one in a 3v3 type setting. So maybe you do guards, forwards, bigs. And we kind of do it like that. You know, just putting different ideas out there. I don't have anything clear set in stone like, okay, the NBA needs to do this. And, you know, that's what they should move it forward. But honestly, 3v3s would be a good idea. 1v1s would be a good idea. It sucks because a dunk contest, we're probably never going to get as good of a dunk contest as that Aaron Gordon, Zach LaVine. Like, I don't think we'll ever see another dunk contest like that ever. I just don't think we're gonna see it. Like, man, that was an amazing moment in NBA history. But it's besides the point. But yeah, we're never gonna see anything like that. So, you know, dunk contest. All these things just have to have more incentive. You have to put a real incentive on it that, like, just like baseball, you know, home field advantage or things like, you got to put a real incentive on it that actually impacts the teams. Like I mean, like a East versus West, whoever wins gets home court advantage in the finals. So if you're an 8 seed, chat, your team might be able to get home court advantage in the finals if you just get there. You know, I think that's a good idea. I think the home court advantage thing, mirroring what baseball, that I believe is baseball, is a good idea. Because if we do that, then that's really going to incentivize these guys to play. East versus West, people are going to say, oh, the West is OP. But, yo, these guys all can hoop. You put them all on the same team. You know, it's tough, though. You know, you got Wemby, Jokic, KD, Bron, Shea, Kawhi. The West is nasty. Yes, the West is nasty. The West is nasty. So it's hard to do that East versus West. You know, obviously it's not as balanced. It's not as balanced. But again, like the path in the West is harder though. So it's like, shouldn't you have home court advantage? If my path is harder, shouldn't I have earned the right to be in home court advantage? You know? And if the East is better that year, then their path would be harder. You know what I'm saying? So like, I think that's just a thought, you know, but I think that would definitely make the game a lot more competitive if we implemented that in there as well. From what I see, it really looks like Brown was carrying. It looks like Brown was carrying right there.
On the gang and then he died, I ain't surprised. He got clopped up with his bitch, call her ass Blunty and Clyde. Blood stains all on his shirt, his shit look like he got dyed. A lot of niggas in Iraq, Star Wars and then they hide. He got hit up on the head, he ain't survived, at least he tried. How I lost Luka and Mike, that shit be fucking with my pride. Every week, it ain't no knowing what I ride. He was dissing on the gang and then he died, I ain't surprised. He got clopped up with his bitch, call her ass Blunty and Clyde. Blood stains all on his shirt, his shit look like he got dyed. A lot of niggas in Iraq, Star Wars and then they hide. He got hit up on the head, he ain't survived, at least he tried. How I lost Luka and Mike, that shit be fucking with my pride. He got his hand out but never did shit for me, niggas fried. I'm gon' handle all the shooting, all you gotta do is drive. Hit his ass like 20 times, how the fuck he still alive? My ops still playing with revolvers like it's 1955. 10 milli get a nigga straight, if he stepping out of line, fuck all the rats. If he snitch, I hope he get a lot of time. I'm just a lucky piece of shit who got rich off making rhymes, and I still be in the trenches, nigga. I ain't hard to find, stuck in that petty ass deal. I know he wish he never signed. If my phone ring and it ain't about no money, I decline. He was thinking with his dick, we got up close, blew out his mind. I'm trying to touch 100 milli, nigga. I been on my grind, and you ain't lost the shit I lost, so don't be asking why I'm flying, nigga. I ain't with the battle rapping. This ain't let it shine. Leave his head open wide. Ain't no plan in the middle. It's them or us, so pick a side. Since my car.
Yo, he's tough. He's tough.
What is that? A blouse and jacket? How would you? I'm asking you. How would you qualify that jacket?
Jacket.
It's not a bomber. It's not a tour jacket.
Jacket.
It's a blouse and jacket.
It's a jacket.
It's nice. What kind of jacket is that? A blouse and jacket? How would you? I'm asking you. How would you qualify that jacket?
Jacket.
It's not a bomber. It's not a tour jacket.
Yo, Luka is hilarious, bro. Luka is hilarious. Man, respect Chris Paul. Respect Chris Paul, man.
When you're cooking up a spread, you can't forget the goat.
The perfect blend of flavor with the right amount of.
All right, y'all, this is it. Who is Jalen Hurts? This is an exhaustive.
Yo, I promise you, Jalen Hurts pays this man's bills, man. This is like, you just made a whole. Let's go look at the Speak Easy. Let's go look at the Speak Easy videos, y'all. Jalen Hurts hasn't played football in over a month, y'all. Let's just, by the way. And he don't like Shedeur Sanders either, for real. Jalen Hurts, 1. Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts. Three videos in the past 2 days. 3 Jalen Hurts videos in the past 2 days. 4 Jalen Hurts. Eagles won't win another Super Bowl. Eagles or Jalen Hurts. It doesn't even matter for real. One of the two. Eagles. Nobody wants to coach him. Jalen Hurts. Like, yo, it just gets sad at this point, man. You have damn near a week full of Jalen. Like, is this the Jalen Hurts show or the Speakeasy, bro?
All right, y'all, this is it. Who is Jalen Hurts? This is an exhaustive end-of-year breakdown. What I'm going to show you is all of Jalen Hurts' touchdown passes of over 20 air yards, the really significant ones. And then I'm going to show you all of Jalen Hurts' interceptions, including the really bad ones. It's about 12 plays in total. We will not be here long, but it might be the most valuable and insightful time you can have if you want to learn exactly who is Jalen Hurts. How do the touchdown passes occur and why do the interceptions occur? Let's take a look. Really, like you're an NFL player breaking down end of year review. Class is in session. This is the first touchdown pass. He's going to hit Dallas Goedert 33 yards across the middle. This was early on in the season. So why did it happen, y'all at home? Okay, let's take a look at what coverage the Rams are in. Hey, simply put, bottom of the screen, they're playing cover 2. This is that flat cornerback, and this is a cornerback playing the half-field safety. It's an inverted version of cover 2. Why do we call it invert? Safety, he's dropping down. Corner, he's rolling to the half. This right now is that middle run-through player. At the top of the screen, well, you would assume they're either playing cover 2 or they're playing cover 4. Well, top of the screen, it looks like they're playing cover 4. Hey, why do you know they're playing cover 4, Acho? In cover 4, outside corner, he runs with the number 1 wide receiver. You count from outside in. Number 1 wide receiver, number 2 wide receiver. Hey, well, the safety in cover 4, he has the number 2 wide receiver on anything vertical. Problem. What happens on this play? The Rams, they bust the coverage. He's playing cover 2, but at the top of the screen, he's playing cover 4, and he's playing cover 2. You see the safety's rolling to half the field. Busted coverage. Jalen Hurts capitalizes. So what's Jalen Hurts capitalize on this play? Truly just a busted coverage. You're going to start to learn some things when you look at all of the long touchdown pass by the Philadelphia Eagles on this season.
All right, quick timeout, people. Look, prize picks include
no promo. No promo.
What occurs on this play? Jalen Hurts, he's audibly in the front. Look at him. He's pointing to A.J. Brown. He's pointing to, that might be Jahan Dotson in there. He's audibly in the front. What does he see? He sees he has man coverage down here. And that's just Saquon Barkley beating a linebacker. Saquon Barkley, real simple. Saquon Barkley on Alex Singleton. So Matt Saquon's going to win every single time. And here's what I need y'all to also understand. This ball, not incredibly well thrown. Saquon kind of stops short, but either way, touchdowns. We have busted coverage. We have Saquon Barkley.
Are we serious? I can't, bro.